Back in 2010, this was the clearest image of Pluto ever taken. It was captured by the Hubble Space Telescope, and as you can see, reveals very little about the icy dwarf planet. At this point in time, Pluto was just a distant object that looked like a mottled, orange, white and black world with a mysterious bright spot. But just 5 years later, the once ninth planet of the solar system became more than just a smear of light, because in 2015, the incredible New Horizons spacecraft silently passed by, aiming all of its scientific instruments at the icy world and its 5 strange moons. New Horizons could only spend a few hours visiting Pluto before continuing on its journey through a region called the Kuiper Belt. But during this brief encounter, it sent back some of the most spectacular images ever captured of an object in space. Pluto is covered in fascinating features, as these amazing images reveal. But the one that stands out the most is, of course, its enormous, frozen heart, a familiar shape on an alien world. So what is this bizarre feature, and how did it form? Well, to really explore the heart of Pluto properly, we're going to need a super science fiction spacesuit. A suit that will protect us as we explore some of the most devastating places in the solar system. Places that were never meant to be visited by any human being. Before you embark on this dangerous mission, remember, this is an extreme environment. The surface temperature can drop to a blisteringly cold -400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -240 degrees Celsius. There is no oxygen here, just a thin layer of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide gas that creates an atmospheric pressure about 100,000 times weaker than on Earth. And not only that, it changes depending on how close Pluto is to the Sun, collapsing when it is at its furthest point away. Between the extreme cold, low atmospheric pressure, and constant changes, Pluto's surface is barren. You are now exploring part of Pluto's famous heart, a feature officially called Tombaugh Regio, after the astronomer that discovered the dwarf planet, Clyde Tombaugh. You are walking where no one else has ever walked before, across 990 miles or 1,593 kilometers of frozen, alien ice that no longer resembles a heart shape, but instead a vast, desolate region billions of miles away from home. You are located on the upper edge of the heart's western lobe, a young, craterless plain called Sputnik Planitia that is surrounded by towering, pinkish-coloured, rock-hard water ice mountains. The ice you are standing on, however, is not water ice, but instead frozen nitrogen that is slowly shifting and moving below your feet, like a glacier back on Earth. Scientists think that Sputnik Planitia formed when a large object slammed into Pluto, creating an enormous impact basin that slowly filled with volatile ices millions of years ago. As you've already noticed, the gravity on Pluto is extremely weak. Here, the average person only weighs about as much as a newborn baby on Earth, and so rather than walking, you are actually hopping across this bizarre landscape. Although you are wearing your protective super science fiction spacesuit, you may also be able to hear the gentle sound of wind circulating around you, a natural phenomenon that is likely caused by the nitrogen ice you are standing on melting during the day and turning into vapor, but then freezing during the night and falling to the surface. It's almost like Pluto's heart is slowly beating. Looking above this frozen landscape, Pluto's largest moon, Charon, might just be visible looming over the horizon. It never rises nor sets, instead just hovers over the same spot, only ever showing the same face, a phenomenon called tidal locking. Unfortunately for us, however, Sputnik Planitia is located almost on the opposite side of where Charon can be fully observed, but you can still see part of its complicated, cracked, and cratered surface, evidence that the frozen, static moon has been battered in the past. Scattered across this smooth, frozen ocean of nitrogen, enormous chunks of water ice can also be seen, as these aerial images reveal. The blocks are likely fragments of larger formations that have broken apart, but what is strange about them is that they are slowly floating across the surface. They are drifting along this smooth plane by a mysterious process that is happening below your feet, deep within Sputnik Planitia. The strange textures and deep crevasses that separate this region suggest that underneath the thick layer of nitrogen ice, convection is occurring, which happens when fluid is warmed unevenly, meaning that something within Pluto is warmer than the surface, causing this gigantic sea of frozen nitrogen to slowly shift and move, possibly even creating a subsurface, slushy liquid ocean. On average, Pluto is around 3.7 billion miles away from the Sun, which is 5.9 billion kilometers away. The star that allows life to flourish across our planet now looks like a small point in a dark, pinpricked sky. But even at this extreme distance, it is still fairly bright, around 300 times as bright as a full moon back on Earth. The comfort and protection of our beautiful blue home is almost a decade away towards that shining star, a journey that has been made by only one robotic spacecraft, and now you. So where shall we explore next? You decide. Shall we visit the most volcanically active world in the solar system, Io, Jupiter's third largest moon? Or perhaps the liquid methane lakes of Titan, Saturn's smog-covered moon? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your journey across Pluto's frozen heart, and I'll see you next time.